Hey homies, so here's my rant. I'm gonna rant because this week's topic is really a sore spot for me actually, and it's reactions you get when you say you're a stay-at-home parent. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about this a little bit because I either am gonna come across as being a biatch or yeah, it's just always bad. And for me, this topic is almost like they say never to talk about religion or politics. For me, this is another one that you should never really talk about because when you bring it up, you're either offending the stay-at-home parent or you're offending the parent who chooses to go back to work and put their kids in daycare. There's no way of getting around it, I've found, really. Makes somebody uncomfortable. Yeah. I think I'm even... Okay, I'm gonna give you a backstory. Growing up, my parents were divorced, and my mom worked full-time, and I lived with her full-time. And my dad and my stepmom, I saw every other weekend. And my stepmom was a stay-at-home mom. She has 2 boys of her own, my little brothers. And I'd always hear from my mom about how spoiled she was. She was a princess. She sat on her butt all day, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure my mom was envious of it, but it was just constant putting down of stay-at-home moms. My mom was a strong woman who went to work and did both jobs, and a new age woman. You know what I mean? So I kind of grew up hearing that, and maybe that's why when I decided to be a stay-at-home mom, I was sort of judging myself and like calling myself all these names, like lazy and spoiled, and it's probably a big reason why I decided to get daycare kids. And even my husband was like, you have to earn money, you can't just sit around all day, you know. And it's not like stay-at-home parents do that at all. So I don't know why I judge myself, but I do, and I probably work a billion times harder than I need to because I want to prove to myself that I'm not any of those names that I hear in my head being called by those imaginary people. And not all of them are imaginary. I do get reactions all the time like, oh, must be so nice. I wish I could afford to do that. That one really fucking chaps my ass because I'm not some rich, kept wife. And I hate that people assume that. I sacrifice a bunch to be able to be a stay-at-home parent. Like, we don't have second vehicles. We don't blah, blah, blah. We already talked about all that crap. But, yeah, we sacrifice a whole bunch to be able to do that. And I watch 8 freaking kids, 6 a day, okay? Like, you could afford to do it if you decided to take on daycare kids. You don't want to do that. So don't act like, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm getting mad now. Okay, I'm going to stop. The other reaction I get is from my mom and other people too about how, oh, that must be so nice. I have to do both jobs. My mom always said that. I had to do both jobs. I had to work all day and then come home and clean the house and make supper and take care of you. I had to do both jobs. Like, and she's like, well, at least you can throw in laundry and, you know, cook during the day and have a clean house. And I'm like, in what universe do 6 children not trash your house? And I feel like saying back to you, at least you could clean at night before you went to work and go to work in the morning and take the kids to daycare and come home at night to a clean house, whereas the kids trash it all day long. I'm just picking up after them. After they leave at 6 o'clock, I have to make supper. Then I have to clean up, you know, the huge mess they've made downstairs that all the daycare kids have made. And then I need to, you know what I mean? I feel like, wait a second, what are you talking about? Do you know what I'm saying? I get so frustrated. Being home all day means you're messing up your house all day, especially if you have lots of kids. It's not like, oh, and people are like, oh, no wonder your house is really tidy. Fuck you. Sometimes I stay up till like midnight and have to get up at 6 to make my house tidy. And yeah, that's my choice, but anyways, I'm ranting now, aren't I? I'm not judging. And I don't like to say things like, I feel like when I'm sticking up for myself, then I'm judging the people who decide to put their kids in daycare, which I never want to do because I give those parents a tremendous amount of credit. I personally could never do it. But yeah, and I get, this is going to be bad, but I hear comments sometimes, you know, I could never stand my kids for that long. And that's a little heartbreaking for me because I see the daycare kids that I have, and their parents come to pick them up, and their parents are tired after working all day, and the kids are acting out because they want their attention, and they get annoyed with them, and they're like, they roll their eyes, and they're like, I don't know how you stand them, oh my God. And And I'm thinking, I've had them for 10 hours. You go home to them for 2. You're with them for 5 minutes and you're already annoyed. And it breaks my heart. Anyways, that's going to sound really rude. Not every parent is like that, but some. And I understand being tired after a long day, and I get annoyed with my kids. Oh God, I do. But, yeah. What was I talking about? I don't know. It's a touchy subject. Shouldn't talk about politics, religion, or being a stay-at-home parent. See you next time. Homies out.